Welcome to lesson 3 of Making the Changes, a series of 12 lessons in which I break down how to practice and work at playing the changes with arpeggios. Now that's a key skill for improvising over chord changes to jazz standards. Now last time out we looked at trying to combine vertical playing with horizontal playing to ensure that you can fluently find arpeggios across the fretboard. Something like this. Now in that example I didn't just stick to the 1, 3, 5, 7 for each chord. On some chords I added a ninth, and you'll notice players that use arpeggios, chord tones for soloing, will often bring in other colours in addition to the 1, 3, 5, 7 to create tension or add flow to their lines. Now the 1, 3, 5, 7, they're strong notes to target and spell out the chord, but the presence of other notes just adds more interest, and it helps those chord tones stand out even further when they are placed at the right time. So the focus of this third instalment is adding in the ninth for more colour and to enable more flow so we can make nice connections between our chord tones when playing over chord changes. Now there's a link to this lesson's materials in the description, as well as a link to my Patreon page where you can get the backing track I'm playing over throughout this series. Firstly, what is the ninth? Well, in this series we've been using the Autumn Leaves A section in E minor to practice. Now if we took an E minor scale, so the following notes, E, F sharp, G, A, B, C, D, and then if we kept going, E would be our 8th note, the same as the first note. Keep that sequence going, the 9th note would be F sharp. So you would form an E minor 9 by having 1, flat 3, 5, flat 7 and 9. E, G, B, D, plus F sharp, the 9th. If we applied the same concept to the other chords in the Autumn Leaves A section sequence, we'd have the following. We could turn that A minor 7 into A minor 9, which would be A, C, E, G, B. For D7 and dominance in general, there are a couple more options when it comes to adding the ninths. You could have D7 flat 9, so D, F sharp, A, C and E flat. E9, D, F sharp, A, C and E. Or D7 sharp 9, D, F sharp, A, C and F. G major 7 could become G major 9, G, B, D, F sharp and A. C major 9 would be C, E, G, B, D. Now F sharp minor 7 flat 5 you wouldn't really play as a chord adding a ninth, but if you add the ninth to the sequence you'd have F sharp, A, C, E and G. And for B7 flat 9 you'd have B, D sharp, F sharp, A and C. You could do other alternatives here, but we're going to stick with this one for now. And then obviously recapping back to E minor 9 would be E, G, B, D, F sharp. And let's put that into an outline of the chord changes in time. Now I've kept this a bit more in position if you like. You want to explore these sounds like we did in the last lesson, both vertically and horizontally. We now have 5 notes, and a way I like to practice is to take out the root and just use 3, 5, 7, 9. Now naturally when you practice arpeggios from the root all of the time, that's how they're going to come out when you try and use them. So here we're moving away from that, playing from the 3rd and then playing the 5th and the 7th and 9th above it. I think if you know the sound of the progression, I think our head fills in the root for us anyway. And practicing like this, you don't necessarily always need to practice to a backing track, as you're trying to develop that ability to hear the changes in your head. A key practice tip is to make sure you really know the sound of this additional note. So take an A minor 7. You want to be able to know the sound of the individual notes of that. Da 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 da. Just check that. Root 3rd, 5th, 7th, and then the 9th on top. So I'm going a third above that. Do 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 do. If you can do that, you know you've internalized the sound of the chords, and you'll be able to apply your arpeggios from a more musical perspective rather than just shapes on the fretboard. So as you can hear there, incorporating the 9th has brought in more additional colour and interest. But that is still very much going up in order. It's very arpeggio-like in sound, even if we have added a more colourful note. So let's try something different. Let's try it with a bit more flow, with some close resolves between notes, which is what we're working towards with this whole series. That was a mixture of 1, 3, 5, 7 and 9, but none started on the root. It's all about close moves at the bar line, so you get that smooth transition at the point of chord change, rather than jumping for the root of the next arpeggio. Now that will be the subject of next month's instalment. If you can't wait till then maybe check out my video on the flat 7 to 3 resolution that's here on the screen. Now please leave a comment if you find this series helpful, and don't forget jazz guitar lessons every Wednesday with myself, Andy. Until next time, you take care.